Bracket championship to be decided today. Ole Miss and Arkansas. We're in Omaha, Nebraska, the Men's College World Series. Oklahoma awaits. So come on inside Charles Schwab Field and get set for an SEC showdown that means all the marbles. What a game we had last night. Most dramatic of the entire College World Series. Ole Miss had them loaded with nobody out. Could not come back, so Arkansas forces this game as we welcome you to the NCAA Men's College World Series presented by Capital One. Justin Bench, third baseman, will lead things off. Jacob Gonzalez, the shortstop, followed by the guy we just saw, Elko. Graham, Kemp Alderman having a very good series. Calvin Harris has been outstanding, hitting .500.
Yeah, and most of the year it's been about Elko and Graham in the middle, right? But Kemp Alderman showed up in a big way last night. That's a tough middle of the order to navigate if you're Connor Nolan.
He's done a pretty good job this year in navigating his way through orders. Connor Nolan, former quarterback at Arkansas. Fastball's going to be into the low 90s, but really as the breaking ball goes, he goes. How does he handle the lefties? That's one thing in this Ole Miss lineup. They will throw some at you. But for Nolan, it really starts and many times ends with the breaking ball. It is as good as any in the country. When it is on, he is hard to square up.
Faced Ole Miss on the 29th of April, 8 innings, 11 hits he gave up, 4 earned runs. He didn't walk for that game. He threw 103 pitches. It led to a fairly bumpy stretch by Nolan standards of about 5 games, but he has bounced back. The last 3 against Grand Canyon, Carolina, Stanford have been outstanding, 21 1/3, and he has given up only 3 runs. So we're set. The winner will face Oklahoma Saturday, game 1 of the College World Series Finals. Justin Bench, 333 here in Omaha, 5 for 15. High strike called. Kevin Sweeney is the home plate umpire today. Caden Wallace, the third baseman. Jalen Battles, the shortstop. Robert Moore, the second baseman. And Peyton Stovall is at first. Zach Gregory, Brandon Webb, Chris Lanzilli around the outfield. This is to Battles. 1 down. It's one of the more impressive facets of a very good team, their infield defense.
Well, Nolan, he's not punched out a lot of dudes lately, right? He's been extremely efficient, but not a ton of swings and misses. So he's going to lean on that vaunted Arkansas defense a lot here this afternoon.
Brings up Jacob Gonzalez. He's the shortstop. 274 on the season, 214 here in the World Series. Sophomore, highly regarded prospect out of Glendora, California. Ball 1.
And Gonzalez has struggled here in Omaha, right? Just 3 for 14, but he hits 120 points higher off right-handers than lefties. Something tells me today he's going to bust out.
Too far inside, 2 balls and no strikes.
It's definitely, even though the stuff for Nolan is good, it's more comfortable than facing some of the left-handers that Gonzalez has had to face, especially last time. And he had his hands full, as did this entire Ole Miss lineup.
Gonzalez hit 17 home runs on the season. The fact that we're playing this game, Arkansas breathing a sigh of relief after last night, where Ole Miss down 3-1, loaded the bases, nobody out. And they had to go through a handful of pitchers to put out that fire, but they did, which just brings us to today. Back up the middle on a high hopper. Battles read it beautifully, and there are 2 down.
We were talking about this yesterday with Battles, but how he almost plays some ground balls like outfielders play fly balls when they're going to try to throw somebody out of home plate, to where he works himself through the ball so much. And then all that momentum is moving into his throw.
Well, and they had Gonzalez perfectly played there too, right? We see that ball, a chopper over the mound, sometimes a difficult play, but Battle's just standing there. Nice job with the scouting report there on Gonzalez.
Now trying to get through the top of the first. 1, 2, 3. He'll get Tim Elko, best hitter on this team, at 295 with 23 homers on the season. Starts him off with a slider, which is what you'd expect him to start him off with and maybe stick with.
He's going to throw a lot of those. And not just to Elko, but there are no secrets in this one. I mean, Ole Miss knows exactly what Parker Nolan's going to try to do. Connor Nolan's going to try to do, and Arkansas offensively knows exactly what DeLucia's going to try to do. It just becomes, at the end of the day, who can execute what they're trying to do. And I think who runs into one or two. It feels like that type of day.
Well, and Ravi, I mean, the scouting report, it's 54% breaking balls when you're facing Connor Noland for the righties, right? And so, you know, a hitter like Elko, a hitter like Grams, Alderman, like these guys have had a lot of college at-bats, and some of them are going to go up there and just sit because the information tells you that's probably where he's going to go, especially later in the game, maybe in some run-scoring opportunities.
Big numbers for Graham, who's 35 on deck, was hitting a bunch over the wall right during batting practice. And the wind today blowing hard from right to left field. 2-2, and he went, punched out. Good start for Connor Noland. Bench and Gonzalez go down on ground balls. Elko strikes out. We'll see Dylan DeLucia, who has been nothing short of spectacular, when we come back. Welcome back. The Arkansas offense red hot in Omaha. Razorbacks hitting .335 as we take a look at their batting order presented by Capital One. That batting average, second best mark through 4 games of a World Series since we moved downtown in 2011.
Yeah, that was a pretty big bolt last night by Brady Slavens. That's what he can do down there at the bottom of the order. There's some real danger with him sitting in that 8-hole. But like with most lineups, you're going to have to navigate the middle. Wallace, Turner, and Lanzilli have all been swinging it really, really well.
Kind of when Dylan DeLucia started finding himself in that weekend role, about when Ole Miss started to turn things around this year. He's been key. They needed an ace. He's become an ace. Land a slider, elevate late. That's what it was the other day, and it got him to 10 strikeouts. I don't know if he's been better than he was last time, and a lot of it was because he was throwing strike one with that breaking ball, and then he'll run a fastball intentionally up and out of the zone that has a ton of arm side run.
We'll follow Braden Webb to the plate, the center fielder. And he has been a thorn in Ole Miss's side all year, 9 for 19. That's a .474 batting average against Ole Miss, a couple of homers. And having a very good series, hitting .350. It'll be Webb, Stovall, and Wallace here in the bottom of the first. DeLucia's a transfer from Northwest Florida State. Didn't make a huge impression because so many guys were on the mound in the fall. He was used in relief a lot, 1-1, and this one has popped up. Catcher and the pitcher going after it. He flips his mask away, and Dunhurst makes the play. And after those relief appearances, they kind of felt like he'd be better off in that starting role. He embraced the concept of it. And to Kyle's point, he's been really, really good since.
I mean, early in the season, Derek Diamond was starting on the weekend for Ole Miss. John Gaddis was starting on the weekend for Ole Miss, and DeLucia was in the bullpen. And it was kind of that Tennessee weekend when he ran his mouth. I mean, after they hit a few out the first day, and he said, they're not going to do that to us in this ballpark. And they kept doing it the entire weekend. But he's pitched really well since that, really well, and now it's been a key part of this rotation.
Starts off Peyton Stovall with a strike. Stovall quiet last night, but he has been outstanding here in Omaha. Went from hitting in the 8th spot to the 2 spot. Ground ball to Gonzalez. He throws to first and 2 quick outs. Gonzalez had a couple of errors here. He looked very sure-handed on that one, and one of the big prospects along with Stovall on the field today as far as the future in Major League Baseball. And that brings up Caden Wallace. He's the third baseman. There is some serious noise in that bat. 16 homers. 5 in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, speaking of prospects, Caden Wallace is as talented as they come. And I tell you, I don't know what you guys thought, but the speed he showed on that ball that he hit past Wood last night to get a double. I mean, this guy checks about every box. The arm strength is like off the charts. He played outfield last year. He's played third base this year. Dave Van Horn said if somebody, if Battles were to get hurt, he'd probably move to short. The power's real. draft eligible sophomore. He certainly has the opportunity to play for a very long time.
They get movement on that 94-mile-an-hour fastball to get ahead of Wallace.
That fastball to Webb just about got him on the grip, and that fastball took off to Wallace. It holds plane pretty good, but it has a ton of arm side run.
In the hole, that's going to get through. A lot of topspin. Caden Wallace, first man aboard with a single with 2 down. Jacob Gonzalez had no chance to keep that ball on the infield, let alone make a play on it.
And one of the big differences for DeLucia here down the stretch, why he struck out so many more guys, is the slider's gotten sharper. That was not one of his better ones, just kind of a roller, a little bit down, a little bit away, but not enough to miss the barrel of Wallace, and the Hogs have a 2-out base runner.
TJ McCants playing center field today. Bench has moved to third base, and in center field with the wind blowing in right over his shoulders, he's playing fairly shallow against Turner. Cleanup hitter, 324 on the season, 9 homers, got a whole bunch, 13 doubles and 53 runs batted in. Just underway, winner of this one moves on to face Oklahoma in the finals. One ball, one strike. Elko's at first. Peyton Chatinier is at second base. Gonzalez, we've seen it short. Justin Bench at third. Kevin Graham is your left fielder. Harris is in right, and they flank TJ McCants with Hayden Dunhurst behind the plate. Chatinier is about 4 feet onto the grass. We'll watch Robert Moore. He'll play 25 feet deep on the grass.
Gotcha.
And I think one of the matchups to watch in this ball game, you talk about the lefties that struggled for Ole Miss last night against the left-handed pitchers of Arkansas. Like the lefties for Arkansas against DeLucia today are really going to have to carry the weight. One of the reasons I think he was so dominant against Notre Dame, it was 7 right-handed hitters, right? Arkansas can throw some real left-handers at you, and that'll make him get to his changeup more, right? As opposed to just staying with the fastball slider.
It should. I mean, for DeLucia this year, he basically doesn't throw the changeup for right-handers. He throws it just shy of 20% to lefties. But he really doesn't throw it until you force him to do it. And I think that's the key, is that these left-handed hitters from Arkansas force him to throw that changeup more than he wants to.
Ahead of Turner, who drove in the 3rd Arkansas run last night. He came quick with that one and just a little high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Check out the 2-2 from Umkamp, fouled off right at the plate. So for Arkansas, Saturday a 17-2 win over Stanford. Monday they lost to the Rebels 13-5. Tuesday you got to win. They beat Auburn 11-1. You got to win last night. They did 3-2. So a lot of baseball for the Hogs here in Omaha. 2-2 fouled off his foot.
And this is kind of what we're talking about, right? The put away against the lefty is not quite the same as the put away against a righty. That short slider that's coming into him. Yes, he's gotten Turner to miss hit a few, but not able to induce the swing and miss just yet. And you wonder if at some point he's going to go back to that elevated fastball or try to turn over a changeup.
Back up the middle, that one gets through. Wallace will stay at second base as McCants plays shallow, but that's another hit from Michael Turner, who's over 500 in Omaha.
It feels like that was maybe too predictable, right? A few in a row to Turner, and this one just hangs. Tried to backdoor it. A couple 2-strike hanging breaking balls have allowed the Hogs to put a couple aboard here in the first.
I think what you've seen is some better swings against that breaking ball. To me,
Come see me, Chris. Come see me, Chris.
if you're Arkansas, you got to force him to beat you with a fastball. Because you know, it's no different than Nolan. You know that you're going to get a breaking ball or two during the course of the at-bat against DeLucia, whether you're right-hander or left-hander, and they've been hunting him.
Lanzilli all locked up on that first pitch. Fastball that rode right in on those hands. Lanzilli, the right fielder, has been terrific. Berkey highlighted 4 homers in the tournament. 389 here, 3 homers here. He hit his target. The target was just too far outside.
I actually like the fastball early better than the breaking ball.
That's better. 1 ball, 2 strikes, moved it about 2 inches.
And if you look at the damage Lanzilli's done here, most of it's been on stuff that's down or soft. And you notice how they started this at bat, 3 straight fastballs.
I wouldn't change it now.
One, 2. This one to Elko. He ranges over there and he makes the play. Lanzilli retired. They get a couple of guys on and they strand them there. We're through 1 with no score.
Welcome back to Omaha. Connor Nolan, an Arkansas kid, but it took him a while actually to get back home to Greenwood, Arkansas. His family moved to Florida when he was 5, then out to Nevada when he was 12. But he always wanted to play in an SEC school. He said the best way to do that, move back home to Arkansas with my grandparents. So after his freshman year, he left home in Nevada, moved in with them, and Bucky and Pam have been to every home game. They'll come on the road. Family still lives out in Reno, but Bucky and Pam, been the 2 that have been with him since his sophomore year in high school.
Really good story. Thanks, Chris. All right, top of the 2nd inning. Back to the plate comes Ole Miss. And the first pitch is sent to the seats from Kevin Graham. More on Nolan. According to his mom, at 3, he could throw the baseball really hard. He was out there with his brother's 6-year-old team, and he could throw it harder than any of them. Nolan misses down.
I don't think there's a second baseman in the country when they go into a shift that plays any deeper than Robert Moore.
Not close.
I mean, it just he's all the way out there, and that feels like a long way. You ever play second base that deep?
I never did. There are some in Major League Baseball that get it out there. I think what's tough is a guy like Graham is not slow, right? So it's the routine like 2-hopper that all of a sudden becomes almost a do-or-die play. And yes, you've got more range, but can I throw him out if I catch it, right? Like if you go to your right, if you're Robert Moore and you're going towards center field to catch a ball, yeah, you might catch it, but can you actually get him from out there? I think that would be fascinating to see.
He charges obviously really well. He's got a terrific arm. And this one is towards the seats and will be blown into them. Saw his dad, Dayton Moore, who of course runs the Kansas City Royals. I said, has you ever seen anybody play that deep? He said, no, but he's got a good clock. He knows where he is, and there is Dayton Moore.
He's got a gold glove now, too. So
he's got a gold glove.
It's worked out all right.
Good pitch there. Nolan, punch out of Graham, and that is 2 strikeouts. So he's one better than he was in his last outing.
It's got a lot of down today. Not a lot of DeLucia's has got a little bit more horizontal. Connor Nolan, when he gets over the top of that thing, it is straight down, and that's why it had such good success against the left-hander. Doesn't really come back into the barrel, just stays straight down. That's a good list.
It's a good group. Berkey was all over that. James Street, Granger, Helton, and Nolan. Division I football and a College World Series game. Big college news with regards to a quarterback, huh?
Yeah, Arch Manning going to be a Longhorn, following the lines of James Street. That's Houston's dad, isn't it, James Street?
Yeah.
0-1 to Kemp Alderman. That one is down a little bit. Already looking forward to football season, and Arch Manning will be quarterback in the Longhorns. No Ole Miss, no Tennessee. This one hard on the ground. That's how you win a Gold Glove. What a play, Robert Moore. Wow. Talk about that clock. That was beautiful.
Well, it's the quickness. Watch how quickly he gets to his crossover step there, and whatever, he doesn't have a ton of length, but whatever length he does, he uses to finish this one off. And then I love the way he flips his hips as he gets up. Watch how quickly he flips his hips and rips that one accurately. Oh, and he's pointing to the Gold Glove. Do it. Stick your chest out, young fella.
Oh, boy.
Little Steph Curry pointing at the ring finger before the game ended.
Okay.
That one worked fine.
Attaboy, Robert. 2 down for Calvin Harris. 0-2 as Nolan slider right underneath that bat.
Michael.
2-2, and Nolan just backs up. We've talked about his athleticism. He was rolling back in the pocket. Flips underhand. Go to the bottom of the second with nothing on the board.
Twitchy, Carl. We call that twitchy.
Who's we?
I don't know. It just sounded cool. Kylie McDaniel.
Came up, you and
in the
Kylie.
scouting community, right?
Okay.
We're getting up on the draft. It's coming.
Twitchy.
You're going to hear that term a lot. Very twitchy athlete.
I've been called a lot of things in my life, Carl.
Not twitchy?
Never been called twitchy.
No, that wasn't on
I don't think
your
it's
report.
starting anytime soon either.
Anything that rhymes with it that might be itchy?
Yeah. A few times.
That's in there.
Yeah.
Moore's draft eligible. What's with the bat on that side of Moore? Would you like to see him do a little bit better?
Well, I think use the whole field. I think especially maybe. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he uses it to left field. Graham takes steps back. It's carrying. Wow! He makes the catch on the track, but now we know that wind is blowing out as Moore bid for what would have been his 9th home run of the year.
A little bit further than Kevin Graham thought it was going to be. So that flags, they're definitely going to blow it to the small part of the ballpark if he hit it down the left field line. It may even be helping it too, especially with his spin. As that spin hits, Kevin Graham kind of easy in getting back to it, then realized he had to pick it up. He's just 3-4 steps shy of the left field wall right there. Long fly ball out for Robert Moore.
Something to keep an eye on and think about as this game plays out. Here's Jalen Battles, the shortstop. May have been, when you look back on it, beyond the pitchers, the position players, the most impressive player we've seen in Omaha.
Yeah, he checks a lot of boxes, doesn't he? I mean, I think you could throw Jalen Battles on a big league field tomorrow, and most every manager would be happy with what he gave them defensively. Look, there's some swing and miss with the bat, but I think about him. I think about Trey Faltini, some of these guys that we've had here this week where you go, I mean, Tulo said it. Troy Tulowitzki said it about Faltini. Like, look, the swing and miss is more accepted today than ever. If you can really play the position and you can hit the ball at the ballpark, the manager will deal with some swings and misses.
1-2. We'll see what the wind does with this one. Graham and Gonzalez are out there. Graham calls it, and he makes the play for the second out.
It's a little different approach so far. All right, we got 5 outs that Dylan DeLucia has recorded. 4 have been fly ball outs and a ground ball out. Connor Nolan 6 outs so far, 2 punch outs, 4 ground ball outs. strikes. And I think that's what you're going to see. Nolan to use that fastball more at the bottom of the zone. Dylan DeLucia's trying to climb the ladder with it.
Here's a guy whose power you have to respect. Brady Slavens. Swinging for the downs there. Slider up, and he's under it. Blasted one over 430 feet last night to dead center field.
That was pretty special, wasn't it? That ball to dead central. You just don't, you don't see too many of those here. This is special power. Kind of an up and down year, but the home runs have been there throughout.
16 on the season. Asked if that was the longest home run that he ever hit. He kind of sheepishly chuckled and said, I guess so.
436, pretty big.
Longest one we've seen here.
Good take. We still haven't seen. Have we seen the changeup yet?
Yeah, he threw one this at bat. It has the same movement as his fastball. Doesn't have much depth. Just has that same run.
Couple of sliders up. Have got him to swing and miss. That time he goes with the cheese, and he punches him out. That's Dylan DeLucia's first strikeout. We are through 2.
Omaha is a special place. The people there do such a good job of putting on the event. The whole city kind of like thrives off of, the 2 weeks that it goes on. Just being able to play in front of a crowd like that and intense games like that helps kind of set you up because it allows you to have been there and done that and understand how to thrive in pressure-filled moments and how to understand that the game truly is the same. It just, there's more people watching you.
He was in the middle of the Vanderbilt championship. Lieutenant Dansby Swanson, and now just destroying it at the major league level. In fact, producer Scott Gustafson sniffed this thing out a mile away. Dansby 2 home runs today as the Atlanta Braves win 7-6 over the Giants.
Boy, Dans.
Well, it's interesting that 2014 Vanderbilt team that won it.
Yep.
2013, they had the best year in SEC history from a regular season standpoint, 26-3, right? That was the team everybody thought was going to be Tim Corbin's first championship team. Yet the next year, they finish 6th in the SEC and win the national championship. And it kind of has started a trend that's interesting to follow, being that Arkansas is right here on the verge of playing for a title with some of these teams after the team, so to speak, that win the national championship.
So you're saying the Vols can go ahead and just book their flights right now for next year?
We're not going there. Let's stay here.
That's right where I went to. Kyle and I are in the same car, and we drove down the same road after that.
Well, that Vanderbilt team in 14 beat Virginia, and that Virginia team had been #1 most of the year.
Yeah.
And
then the
next
Virginia
year
came back and
won it, right?
With all sorts of injuries. 3-1, backing up. Watch this arm. Hayden Wallace. All right, so the Sunday night baseball game will feature Dansby Swanson and the Atlanta Braves against the Los Angeles Dodgers. How about the Dansby Swanson Trey Turner shortstop showdown there? Turner electric, and Dansby's been as good as anybody here. And Atlanta is sneaking up on the New York Mets now, just 4 games behind them. Dodgers got all sorts of injury things going on with Buehler out and Betts out. Baseball tonight, Sunday night countdown. We'll kick things off at 6 Eastern time, and then at 7. Eduardo Perez, David Cohn, Buster Olney, and I will be in Atlanta.
So we got one in this tournament that we'll see this weekend that has drawn a few Trey Turner comparisons. Peyton Graham, the shortstop for Oklahoma, who sits and awaits to see who they're going to play in the finals. Had quite a year and quite a tournament so far.
1-1 Dunhurst, Moore, and he's not going to get it. Boy, there is not a lot of real estate given how far Moore plays into right field. And for Hayden Dunhurst, he breaks an 0 for 9 with 8 strikeout streak here in Omaha.
Yeah, this is almost the way they're set up defensively, is they're almost trying to take that kind of hit away. But little top spin lob right over top of Robert Moore's head and in front of Lanzilli. And you know that has to feel good for Hayden Dunhurst to get on the board, so to speak, here in Omaha.
Turner played his college ball, Trey, that we were talking about, NC State with Carlos Rodon, and This pitch on the ground. Nice play over there at first. Stovall, he gets one. Battles! Oh, my goodness! The defense continues to shine. Stovall to Battles and back to you.
Well, this Arkansas team can pick it with the best of them, and when you got a kid that used to play middle infield playing first, he can flash some leather and show you some athleticism. A backhand to his feet, a strike, and you know Battles has plenty of juice to finish it off. A 3-6-3, and the Razorbacks continue to flash the leather.
Pitch to contact, good things happen when you have a defense like that behind you. Noland allowed 2 hits, but boy, that defense has kept him in it. Ole Miss, just 1 hit. We head to the bottom of the 3rd. Team that wins this gets Oklahoma in the Men's College World Series Finals. The Sooners are sitting back watching this, seeing these 2 aces work their tails off. And look at the future Hogs. The junior Razorbacks are in the house. Zach Gregory, the 9-hole hitter, will lead things off for Arkansas. A lot of those stories were kids. Tigert last night who came on, he was here as a 13-year-old looking out in the field. So many youth baseball programs come to Omaha during these 10 days. Spend the days playing. Moms and dads lugging the bats, got the minivans and all those cars. We're going to go play, then we're going to go watch.
Yeah, there's a couple Louisville teams in town this week. Yeah, the Vipers are here. 13 new Vipers are in the house.
A few guys said Joe Borcher was in town with his son playing in a tournament. Jeff Ballard was in town.
Yeah. John Buck's boy was here playing.
Love it.
He was trying. I like the idea. Because if he executes that one, Gregory's not going to pull a trick. Try to go glove side fastball, just stick it in there and throw that front side 2-seamer to where left-handed hitter gives up on it because it starts off the plate. That one just didn't quite come all the way back.
It's like Dylan DeLucia is starting to lock it in. The fastball we've seen, that was a tight slider, picks up his 2nd strikeout.
Yeah, it's just kind of, I mean, pick one. Because once he starts adding a little bit of depth to it, that slider gets even better. The fastball's been awesome.
Yeah,
from the jump. Now, if he could do that, add just a little more depth to that slider, 2nd time around this order is going to get even better. First time through against Webb and Stovall, he threw in both first pitch breaking balls.
Webb for the first time didn't lead off an Arkansas game with a hit.
I think what's pretty special too about that last sequence of pitches, right? You start one at the hip and bring it back, and then you start one middle.
Bring it to the hip.
Yeah, you bring it to the hip. Like if you can marry those 2 together, left-handers are going to have some problems. Got to be fun calling pitches with these 2 hurlers on the mound right now because they're both executing at a very high level.
Behind 2-0 to Webb, and he threw one right down the middle. He popped it up. Elko going back. Chanier's over there, and an easy one for Elko.
All right, how many runs wins this thing today?
Feeling like another 3-2 game, kind of, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe a race to 3. 3 may be, heck, 1 may be enough the way we're going right now. 2 aces with their A game so far.
And here's Peyton Stovall, grounded out to the shortstop, his first time up. Looking for his 10th hit in Omaha. Elko smothers that. He says, I got it myself, and he steps on the bag. Not a lot of loud contact, good defense. 9 pitches for DeLucia.
Welcome back to Omaha, the NCAA Men's College World Series presented by Capital One, and I'm joined with Mike Bianco. How good does DeLucia stuff look today?
Pretty good. I was a little worried, I think, in the first inning, a couple base hits on sliders, if the slider was as sharp, but it looks like he's got it, and he's even thrown a couple changeups early here, and certainly that fastball on both sides.
It had been a month since you guys lost. How did you feel the rebound? They processed it last night.
Well, last night was hard. Anytime you lose in the bottom of the 9th, you got runners on, you got a chance to win. But yeah, it's been about a month, for our guys, and to be that close from a victory. But they were in good spirits today. They're all bouncing around.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
22nd year for that guy who really elevated the program over the last couple of decades.
It gets forgotten. Like what that guy has done for that program. First of all, you coach 22 years in this league. You're pretty darn good at your craft. You got 22 years on one side, you got 20 years on the other. 42 combined years as head coaches in the SEC. But Mike Bianco.
Line shot, Moore. Oh, underneath the glove, and that is going to be a base hit for Bench to lead things off in the fourth. Get so used to seeing him pick everything.
I thought maybe he could have gone a little deeper on his angle there. This one's just a tough one. Thought that ball was going to bounce a touch higher than it ended up bouncing. And we talked about what it was going to take to win this ball game. Like, you get a leadoff base runner, feels like you got to figure out a way to punch it in. Let's see how the Rebels play it right here. Perfect opportunity with a guy like Gonzalez in the right side of the infield open. This is one of those where Gonzalez pulls the ball so much on the ground. Like, I would almost just go ahead and put Moore over there and tell Battles to turn it from Wallace, right? If you somehow got a backside ground ball and Moore took another step to his left, like, Gonzalez can really use that open space.
Between first and second, Gonzalez grounded out to short his first time up. This is a slow one that's foul.
You see, that's two already, you know what I'm saying? Full side grounders, and Nolan's throwing that hook. You know, if he hits it fair, there's a really good chance it's going somewhere between Moore and the first baseline.
It's back to Bianco for a second. 6th College World Series appearance for the program. They were here in 2014. Then it was the 50s, 60s, and 1972. Mississippi State wins the championship last year. The heat on the stove gets turned up a little bit. 0-2 to Gonzalez. And a high chopper.
Gotta get one.
Only play is to first.
Take that if you're Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Ground ball not hit hard enough. They can't get the lead runner, so Rebels have the first runner in scoring position right here for the middle of the over coming up. I think, too, I mean, obviously there's plenty of wins on both sides. Mike Bianco's brought Ole Miss here twice. Dave Van Horn's brought Arkansas here 7 times. Just look at the growth of the stadiums and fan base. And, I mean, these are 2 of the premier baseball facilities in all of college baseball. You like this game, you got to figure out a way to get to both, because it is quite an experience.
Very dangerous Tim Elko to the plate against Connor Noland here in the 4th inning. Winner will move to the World Series Finals. Best 2 out of 3 against Oklahoma. Starts him off with a slider and strike 1.
It just feels like you got to sit breaking ball here for Elko, doesn't it? I mean, you got
100%.
first base open. You know you're the dude that's been circled in the lineup. First pitch breaking ball. Something tells me even if he throws a heater, it's probably going to be more for intent than to actually fill up the zone with it. Backdoor 2-seamer right there, and that maybe tells you that he is sitting breaking ball, right? The fact he didn't even offer it that one.
Quick shot of the pitching coach, Matt Hobbs. And now 0-2. Turner will call the pitches. He called them all last night, according to Dave Van Horn. On the 0-2, got him. See that fist pump, and then a point out from Turner to his pitcher. 2 strikeouts for Elko in a game.
Pretty well done right there.
Wow, that is called carving somebody up. So you land a first pitch breaking ball right on the edge. I mean, that sucker is right on the outer paint. Then you bring a two-seamer back door, and then you throw that tighter slider right off the same window as the 2-seamer, and it dives down our way. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. What a sequence there from Nolan.
Brings up Kevin Graham. Fair ball, and around from third now will come Bench. Ole Miss scores first on an RBI double from Kevin Graham, his 50th RBI of the season.
Talk about it plenty. Kevin Graham Justin Bench, Tim Elko all had a chance if they wanted to play professional baseball. They did not. They chose to come back as a threesome. And in that, you get Kevin Graham, professional hitter. This guy can go left field line to right field line, recognize breaking ball, hooks it just fair past the glove of Peyton Stovall, which is not easy to do. And that swing right there gives the Rebs their first lead of the day.
Jumped on a first pitch breaking ball. And he moves into scoring position for Kemp Alderman. Ole Miss on the board first. Another one on a line of battles. Maybe a little predictability from the pitcher with a first pitch breaking ball. Teams to score first in the College World Series this year. 10 up, 2 down. You want more coverage of the College World Series interactive brackets? Go to NCAA.com, your official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. You'll hear it a few more times as we get to the finals. The Oklahoma men will try to do what the Oklahoma women did as they win another College World Series softball championship. Never happened in the same year that the men and women both win the softball and baseball championships. Ole Miss draws first blood as we get set for Arkansas to bat here as the home team at the bottom of the 4th inning. Three, 4, and 5 due up against Dylan DeLucia. Justin Bench across the diamond, 1 down. Given the way last night ended, I mean, one of the questions you always ask, all right, how are you going to bounce back? You know, well, how are we going to, is the first run the next day really important? Or are we going to be back in a hole again that we couldn't dig out of the night before? And I think the way that DeLucia survived the first inning gives Bianco a whole bunch of hope, and now they get the first run.
Well, and Mike talked about it a little bit when he was talking to Chris. The slider in the first inning was a little flat. And the sliders that we've seen, I would say 3rd inning for sure, had a little bit more depth to it. And when that slider has more depth and he still has the ability to land it, that's when DeLucia can, well, kind of run away and hide.
Falls behind Turner, who took over the catching position for Casey Opitz, a transfer out of Kent State. He's been very, very good. He's a good hitter. And that was one of the things that Dave Van Horn said last night. How about the job that no one's talking about, which was the job of Turner behind the plate? This time into left field. It's going to stay up for Graham.
Well, we talk about the bounce back too, Ravi. Like, it's easier to bounce back when you know you have your ace. But it's also easy to do the what-if game, which is, man, if we get one more hit, we got our ace going in game 1 of the finals, you know. And so it definitely had to sting last night for the Rebs, but you know, ball players get so used to having to make quick bounce backs. They obviously showed up ready to play. Certainly easy when DeLucia's on the mound. Easy error.
Yep, there's a hit. I mean, this is the guy you circle right now, isn't it, in that lineup? You talked about him at the top. Chris Lanzilli continues to pound the baseball here with a single.
Well, it went all heaters last time, right? First pitch breaking ball, and he rips it into left. I don't think they'll do that with runners in scoring position, but he stays high.
Arkansas, having played 4 games, the best offense here in Omaha with a .335 average. They have 6 home runs into today. Ole Miss, Texas A&M each hit 4. Notre Dame hit 4. That pitch right there, man, that is a nasty pitch at the knees.
Oh, and what it allows, we've seen DeLucia do this earlier, is now you can come back with a slider that goes absolutely the opposite way and just tie guys in a knot.
It's one of the harder pitches, right, KP, to master the two-seamer on the hip of the left-handed hitter.
Yeah, because you've got to be so true through your front side and finish the pitch. If you don't, there's no way you can get extension and give it that two-seam movement to come back. It's not easy.
Cam, and that was thrown about eye high for Kevin Sweeney, the home plate umpire. All 3 of the Razorbacks hits have come with 2 outs.
The take, real good take. Because that's exactly where DeLucia wanted to throw. He may want to dare him to see if he can do it 2 times in a row.
Moore came into the game with 45 strikeouts and 42 walks. You just don't see those numbers. There's another one.
I go back to that front hit fastball. I'd grab that first pitch you threw the hole at bat and see if you can't get off the field with that same one. I just think you haven't gone back to it. He hadn't seen it in 5 pitches. That seems to be the one that you can get a take on right here.
First time he has been in a 3-ball count. Called strike 3. Moore thought it was up and maybe out. Instead, it's a punch out. DeLucia has got 3 of those. We'll talk with that guy, Dave Van Horn, as we continue at the College World Series, a bracket final. Ole Miss and Arkansas. He's telling you how he feels.
Welcome back to Omaha, the NCAA Men's College World Series presented by Capital One. Joined with Dave Van Horn. What adjustments do you want to see at the plate to get some more base runners aboard?
Well, you know, we hit 3 balls hard that inning. One of them right third baseman lined out to left, base hit, and then we got rung up on ball 4 from what it looked like over here. So we feel like we're getting some good swings. We just need to stop them. Those guys can swing it over there. You got a couple pitchers who are probably a little bit tired.
What do you need out of Calder Nolan the rest of the way?
And if he could give us a couple more innings, that would be big. And if anything after that, man, that's incredible, actually.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
So think about it. The shortest turnaround between starts for Nolan has been 6 days. Starts. He pitched in relief on short rest back on June 5th. But both these guys pitched on Saturday. As we are moving quickly to the 5th inning, 1-0 Ole Miss.
Yeah, they'll be doing this more often here pretty quick when they get into pro ball, because this is your typical professional rotation where you're 4 days off. But when you're in college, you don't get it very much. Every once in a while, in the SEC, you get that Thursday game, and it may be one less day of rest for your starters, but really everybody. I can tell you this: they both looked as good as we've seen them look today.
With everything on the line, the 1-1 to Calvin Harris. That misses. He'd thrown 12 straight strikes.
Guys, watching Nolan down here, I mean, he has been amped for this game, having fun, playing very loose. But you go back to last season, and he's one of the pitchers that felt responsible for not making a run to Omaha, that they had to rely on Kevin Kopps too much, that maybe if they had been better, they could be here making a run.
Center field, easy one for Braden Webb. That's a good point. They are in touch a lot. Kopps and Nolan, Kevin keeping his eye on this club. Take a look at where he is compared to where he was from 18 to 21.
Well, you look at that workload, I think a lot of us thought that's why maybe he was starting to slow down the stretch, because it was such it was such a monster workload. But you go back to the start of the regional, and he has found a new gear, much like this entire club. It's interesting that Dave Van Horn used the word tired, because I wouldn't have looked at either one of these pitchers and used that word. I mean, I know from the rest standpoint, they're on short rest, but they both look razor sharp.
And I would tell you, if they do tire, I think you're going to see 2 different things out of the fastball. For Nolan, the fastball will come up in the zone. It won't have as much sink.
Yep.
And for DeLucia, that fastball that he's trying to keep up in the zone will come down in the zone. That's where they can both get hurt. Hasn't been the case yet.
1-1. Peyton Chatagnier is the second baseman. Got him to chase there. That'll be another strikeout on the throw down to first. Punch out number 4.
So we got 4 punch outs for Connor Nolan, and it's been a 2-seamer that has gotten him a lot of ground ball outs. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, all 3. So 7, 8 ground ball outs so far, 4 strikeouts, 2 fly ball outs. 2-seamer at the bottom of the zone, and it's slider that's got some swing and miss, and some guys that have rolled over and hit it on the ground. But when you look at the numbers, yes, there's the 4 strikeouts, but for Nolan, It's that middle number. When you see that middle number, 8 ground ball outs, that's when you know that he has his good stuff.
Aiden Dunhurst picked up his first hit here in Omaha last time up. Did he check his swing? He did. Another thing we've seen early on in this tournament, we've seen a lot of blowouts. We've seen a lot of lopsided scores. We've seen a lot of walks. We haven't seen one today.
And I don't think that's surprising, right? Two really sharp guys pitching at the top of their game here in their first outings, and they've just carried it over. And like you said, KP, it's kind of neat, a little bit of a contrasting styles here with these two, right? You get Nolan, who's everything's trying to go down. The fastball's trying to go down. Obviously, 2 breaking balls. They're both intended for you to either miss or hit the top of the ball. And with DeLucia, it's that upshoot fastball, and then really even the slider more horizontal than necessarily a ton of depth.
That didn't mitch by much. If Dave Van Horn was running warm after the strikeout call against his guy, he's going to want that pitch. A little bit off. Turner tried to frame it. Next pitch. That's better. There is your strikeout looking. 2 strikeouts in the inning. Another 1-2-3 inning for Connor Noland. He's through 5. He's got 5 strikeouts. It's 1-zip. We welcome you back to Omaha, Nebraska, side of the Men's College World Series. 1-0 Ole Miss. And Dylan DeLucia, a little backdoor slider as he will get 7, 8, 9. Jalen battles Brady Slavens and Zach Gregory. That is hit on a line right at the shortstop, Gonzalez.
All right, so if you saw Dylan DeLucia in his first start here in Omaha, it looked a lot like this. Steal a strike with a breaking ball early, which he's been able to do consistently yet again. And then this fastball that just takes off arm side. I mean, it doesn't have a bit of sink to it. It's got a ton of arm side run. Guys have not had the ability to square it up, and so far it's looking very similar to the way that it did the first time he was on this mound. Stuff has been outstanding.
It's good news for Ole Miss. Slavens the DH. Big time power in the bat. He's been middle of the order, now hitting in the 8th spot, and this one is to left. 2 down.
Dave Van Horn was talking about it last inning. They squared some balls up. And that's back-to-back balls that are hit pretty hard. Not much to show for it. DeLucia continues to make quick work here now into the middle innings. Just 59 pitches.
Take a play. Right at him. Let's go. Get this out.
There's that conviction to throw that pitch. Take a look at UmCam, and if you really love UmCam and you want full commentary and coverage with every pitch shown from the World Series UmCam, log on to ESPN+. It's a called strike. Lanzilli's single broke it up, but DeLucia has retired 12 of the last 13 he has faced. Super efficient, 62 pitches. I mean, every pitch is a competitive pitch. There are not a lot that are bouncing 5 feet in front of home plate. They're all nibbling.
The misses are just by a little, and up to this point, the misses have been on the side of the plate that you want to miss. A 3-1 backdoor breaking ball to get it to 3-2.
Another tight slider, his 4th strikeout. Another 1-2-3 inning, and it is a pitcher's duel. Dylan DeLucia, Ole Miss, Connor Nolan, Arkansas, winner to the World Series Finals against Oklahoma. Welcome back, Omaha, the Men's College World Series. Mississippi State didn't make the field this year. 8 teams end up getting here: A&M, Texas, Stanford, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and Auburn. Oklahoma's the only one standing on their side of the bracket. We needed this game to decide this side. And what a game it's been. 1-0, 3 hits each. Top of the 6th, Ole Miss at the plate.
How even have these two teams been when they played this year, too? Ole Miss goes to Fayetteville, wins the opener. Arkansas wins the next 2. One on a walk-off. The other one's a 1-run game. They've split the 2 games here. And now we got a 1-0 game.
Slow roller, here you go, charging, and it works.
You got to come get it, right? If you're going to play that deep, you better be really, really good at making that play on the run. It just shows you the confidence he has to make that play, that he will stand that deep to begin with.
Pitching and defense, the story so far today. McCants, who was just retired, hit into that incredible 3-6-3 double play. And now we're back to the top for Justin Bench. He singled his last time up and ended up scoring on Graham's double.
Yes.
Right field, falling fast. It's going to fall in front of Lanzilli. Justin Bench, 2 of the team's 4 hits.
That was a pretty piece right there. Connor Nolan just continues to land that breaking ball, and this was painted. I mean, look where that breaking ball is, but the ability to extend the barrel, watch the back knee here, watch the chest go down into your legs, get your barrel out over the outside corner. That is the definition of plate coverage right there. Justin Bench stays hot.
You're waiting for Jacob Gonzalez to have his signature moment at the College World Series. Ball 1. TJ McCants would describe Gonzalez as a flatline guy. He doesn't get too high or too low, and this one is slapped right at the third baseman. They'll go to second. Battles in time. Boy, Battles' arm after Wallace did the job to keep it in front of him, and they turn their second double play.
They just steal outs, man. It's what they are. And how about the presence of mind of Caden Wallace? Doesn't field it cleanly, but bare hands it, throws it a strike, and then just let that guy take over. Double play to end it. Reds still lead it by 1.
Welcome back. Oklahoma already waiting in the wings. Their pitching has been outstanding. They've only played 3 games, but you've struck out 26 and walked 2. That's the whole free pass thing, and their offense has been led kind of by a 3-headed monster. Jimmy Crooks has got 2 3-run home runs, but Graham Treadaway and Crooks have combined for 11 RBI.
Graham and Treadaway both came in with 15-game hitting streaks. They have been red hot really the entire postseason. They've got their pitching all stacked up, right?
Sure
As
do.
these 2 teams sit here and throw their aces in an elimination game to get to the Sooners are sitting there with it all stacked up.
Webb hustles down the line, but he's not going to beat the throw from Gonzalez, and that's an important first out as we're in the 6th inning of a 1-0 game, top of the order, and Braden Webb on 1 pitch rolls over to the shortstop. That's a hamburger helper right there. If you're the pitcher, man, you're on a little shorter rest. He has solved the DeLucia riddle if you're Arkansas. He has been terrific. Here's Peyton Stovall.
That's one way right there. Peyton Stovall trying to take advantage of Justin Bench not honoring the bunt, but now he's drawn in at third base. Missed his opportunity.
1-1. We talk about Gonzalez as a prospect. He's one of, if not the #1 prospect, according to ESPN, as far as major leaguers here. This is another guy, the freshman Peyton Stovall. Popped up. Harris coming in out there. Shot Yang. It's going to be Harris, the right fielder. Control Stovall. That's a big step in the right direction, and he's been denied the last 2 games now so far.
Came into this ball game 9 for 21 with 10 driven in the College World Series.
And he was 9 for 16 before yesterday.
0 for his last, what is that, 0 for his last 8 now.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
Nailed it.
5 and 3 is 8. This one is hammered to right center field. Harris going back, and he reaches up, and he makes the play. How about a 5-pitch inning for Dylan DeLucia, and a nice play in right field from Calvin Harris to help out his pitcher.
5-pitch inning. That works out just fine. Calvin Harris does a few himself right there. Still Rebs.
You want to talk about defense?
Well, it's been impressive on both sides, but the Razorbacks have really flashed their high-end talent on the defensive side. Robert Moore, the Gold Glover, puts it on display. Peyton Stovall with as good a 3.63 as you will see in the college game. And then Caden Wallace, just smooth and easy, the internal clock. And, of course, Jalen Battles with enough gas to finish it off from the shortstop position. The infield defense for the Razorbacks has been flawless in this game so far.
7th inning of a must-win game. Ole Miss 1, Arkansas nothing. The lone run came in the 4th inning. Tim Elko leads things off. Swings at the first one and fouls it off at the plate. Two starting pitchers, the 2 aces, have been dynamite. DeLucia and Connor Nolan for Arkansas. Starting to get a little movement out in that Arkansas bullpen right now, as Nolan steps off because a beach ball made it onto the field. Evan Taylor and Cole Ramage currently warming for Arkansas. Elko on the ground. That's underneath the glove of Wallace. Tim Elko is aboard for the first time with a leadoff single in the 7th.
Well, their 1 run came on a leadoff single, right? They were able to cash that one in when Justin Bench got aboard to start the 4th. And now the captain gets them going here. And, of course, the guy who drove in Bench up to bat right now, Kevin Graham, one of the kind of under the radar sleepy star hitters in college baseball, gets another opportunity.
Elko's got 2 stolen bases. But to your point, I think you made this point earlier with Graham too, with Stovall holding Elko on, and where Moore is playing. We just saw one of those 5-6-3 double plays. Well, he goes the other way. In between the 5-6 hole, and Ole Miss got a little something cooking here in the 7th. Back-to-back singles for Elko and Graham.
Well, this is why he's so special, right,
Yeah.
KP? He takes a breaking ball and hits it down the right field line. Now he gets a 2-seamer and hits it in the 6 hole. Just a well-rounded hitter who's had 1,000 college ABs. And, man, is he coming up big on the biggest stage.
You go look at his spray chart in his College World Series. The first game we had, he hit a home run the opposite way into the bullpen. Get a backside ground ball for hit. That time hits it right where the shortstop vacated. He hooked one down the right field line to put the Rebs on the board. earlier today, man. You can't throw him the same thing over and over again. He's just seen it too many times.
A lot has been made about the Ole Miss story this year, about how they lost their way in the middle of the season. And a big part of that was Kevin Graham getting hurt.
Yep.
And not just him getting back in lineup, but him getting back and then getting right. Because it's one thing to be out there playing. It's another thing to really be locked in. But you look right around early May when he started getting back his swagger, this Rebels team has been as good as anybody.
First time that Ole Miss has had 2 on in the same inning. And this guy has been red hot. Camp Alderman, the DH, came into today hitting .455 with 3 RBIs. Popped up on the infield, and it's more going out. That should be an infield fly, and it is. That was a helper getting Alderman to pop out. And now it's Calvin Harris, the lefty. Harris has been terrific with runners in scoring position, hitting .400. 14 for 35. Gets one there into right field. Elko got a good jump on it. Lanzilli up with it. His throw is way offline, and Turner has to go get it. Late on the throw to second, but in time. He double clutch, still threw down to second, and he nailed Harris. But Harris does bring in Elko, and it's 2-0 Ole Miss.
It's now 3 hits in the inning for Ole Miss, and Tim Elko's known for a lot of things. But speed isn't necessarily one of them. On second base, and off the bat, you're thinking, are they going to send him or not? Chris Lanzilli was really deep. Really deep. And if he's not that deep, I don't think Mike Clements sends him. But because he had to go so far to make that play, Elko able to score pretty easily from second base and extend that Rebel lead.
Call him out at second base. Play is under further review.
I mean, you might as well. He's out, but you can't take him with you. So
this one won't take long.
9-2-6 on the putout. And when Turner went to get that ball, he hesitated for a second to throw it. But he was able to nail Harris. Right there was that double clutch. And a really good throw.
Maybe just waiting for Battles to get there. Maybe he just didn't have the grip. But still plenty to retire Harris. But man, that second run is huge. And you know, Mike Bianco probably in years past would have bunted with Alderman, even though you're thinking, all right, you're not going to bunt with your 5-hole hitter.
After review, the call it out at second base is confirmed. Ole Miss is charged 1 challenge and has 1 challenge remaining.
But they have done very little of sack bunting this year, and the decision pays off, right? Give your big boppers a chance to swing the bat, take 3 shots at it, and Harris makes them look smart. They only have 5 sacks on the year. It's not a team that's going to play the inside game too much.
Come on, Pete, be big right here. Nobody better, Pete, come on.
2-0, 2 down. And a runner, a big one at third base. Peyton Chatinier gets set for the Nolan pitch. Swings at one that was in the dirt. Strike 1. Take a little breath and a walk around home.
Go, Turner. Go, Turner. One another.
that's going to get back into the seats. Well, 1 felt big, 2 feels huge, 3 would feel almost insurmountable. The way that DeLucia is throwing, and he's ready to just get back out there.
Well, and the Rebs have their top arms ready to go in the bullpen too if they need it. Now nobody has stepped foot on that Ole Miss bullpen mound since Dylan DeLucia came into this game, but if needed, their best are ready.
Chatinier doesn't have an RBI in Omaha, and behind 0-2. This one is hit to left fairly well, but Gregory pulls up the brakes right there. Leadoff man gets on Elko. He is knocked in by Harris. The Rebels are up 2-zip. We head to the bottom of the 7th, 9 outs away. Welcome back, everyone, to the NCAA Men's College World Series presented by Capital One. A lot of folks out on the Bob Carey pedestrian bridge. Chris Budden was out there walking this morning. Chris' dad's in town watching the College World Series. Ole Miss got a 2-0 lead. It's getting late early here because Dylan DeLucia has got the Arkansas Razorbacks offense in a bit of a sleeper hold. Giving up just 3 hits. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings, and now Michael Turner will lead off with the Hogs down 2-zip to Ole Miss. There's one of those lights out guys. Josh Mallett's now up in the Ole Miss bullpen. The 0-1 gets a piece of the corner with a backdoor slider. 0-2.
I think that extra run makes you look at it a little bit different with how far you go with DeLucia. I'm letting him roll. I'm letting him roll at least until Arkansas's got guys. I mean, I think he probably gets through the 7th, but after that, it would take a base runner for me to look down to that bullpen. And Mallett's, when he came in the other night, was absolutely lights out. 2 feels like a lot right now. There's certain days 2 feels like, this is no big deal. 2 runs feels like a lot.
1-2 beaten into the ground. Fielded cleanly with a good throw from Gonzalez. Another ground ball out, 1 down. Shout out to advance to the final since '99. Interesting because all 3 of them went on to win the national championship, and you would just feel if the Rebels do hang on here, they'd be at a disadvantage because their ace is the one that got them into the finals.
If you're Ole Miss, you'd have Hunter Elliott ready to go game 1. He'd be going in the same type of rest that DeLucia did today. So, yeah, in an ideal world, you set up the way that Oklahoma is, and you can throw the game 1, game 2, game 3 the way that you had it all set up coming in.
Jam shot there. Hunter Elliott pitched on Monday, 6 1/3. Gave up 1 earned run. He threw 100 pitches. Awfully impressive for DeLucia so far, and again ahead 0-2.
Well, and both these guys, Nolan and DeLucia, I mean, I don't think they're burned for the championship series, right? If it went game 3, you'd have 3 days rest.
Yeah, you put them at the back end of a bullpen in games 2 and 3 and say, you know what, let's see if we can steal 6 outs with them. No, I would agree with you. They're not done for the series. 94.
That's still same velocity.
We're shy of 80 pitches, but the stuff hadn't ticked down at all for DeLucia.
He's working on retiring 17 of the last 18 he's faced. 2-2, swing and a miss. Strike 3, punch out 5, and he's gotten 18 of the last 19.
See that little move that Hayden Dunhurst made right before that pitch? He was looking out at DeLucia, and the idea was stay on line, stay through me. He had kind of run away from a few in a row. That time he did, and that's when the 2-seamer just takes off. I mean, when Lanzilli starts this swing, he thinks it's a fastball down the middle. By the time it got done, it almost hit him.
Yeah, if you can make that pitch every time in a swing count, especially to a right-handed hitter, you're going to get an all for 9 out of 10 times. I mean, that ball starts middle in, middle up, and ends up right underneath his armpits. It's just explosive fastball here from Dylan DeLucia.
Pitch, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Just landing that backdoor breaking ball to left. He's like, it's nothing.
Opener of the College World Series, he retired the first 14 he faced. He's got 18 of 19 in this game. Only 4 had a 3-ball count in his first outing. 3 in this game. That's how good he's been. 3-2 to Moore. In and out of the glove.
Trick the organist. Doesn't happen all the time. Foul ball, and Hayden Dunners just couldn't quite hang on.
Moore, slow roller up the middle. Charnier not going to get him. And Moore beats out an infield hit.
Got it. Definitely have to go. That's the right decision. All right, we got 2. Finer percent in the dirt.
Now Jalen battles, as you can hear the wind gusting again from right to left. Arkansas's got 4 hits in the game. All have come with 2 outs. Just more pitches on the arm of DeLucia. If somehow Dunhurst could have held on to that foul ball, they're out of the inning. Instead, Battles goes the other way, but it's foul. They get a man on. Tying run at the plate.
Stay fastball heavy here. I just feel like if Jalen Battles got a chance to hit one out of the ballpark, I think it's going to be on a slider that hangs. That fastball right now is brutal on right-handed hitters.
Well, there's been, I think 3 of the 4 hits have been on breaking balls. I don't think there's been too many barrels on the.
Oh, wow. Battles thought it was a strike for a long time. He hesitated, didn't pull the trigger, and neither did Kevin Sweeney, the home plate umpire.
That one's pretty good right there. Part of this is, if you're Kevin Sweeney, he hadn't thrown a lot of fastballs to the bottom part of the zone all day. You're used to that pitch being up.
That's outside. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Actually, all 4 hits have been on breaking balls to this point.
Battles has shined with his glove. Trying to do something with the bat. Called on the inside corner. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. No swing.
I don't think he agrees, but it felt like he held it up. I think he did.
All right, what are we going with here? 2-seamer, slider away again?
Fastball. Just at this point for DeLucia, if I'm going to go down, I got to go down with a fastball.
Instead, a 1-hopper. Can't won't be fielded, and now Arkansas's got 2 on. Gonzalez on what appeared to be a knuckleball. Didn't get a great read on it. And 2 are aboard, and now the go-ahead run comes to the plate.
And he got stuck with his feet. I felt like this is a ball he should have backed up on. He kind of gets stuck, and then he comes forward. That's a really tough pick on a ball that was, I think, probably spinning pretty funny. And I know he's not going to be able to get more at second, but maybe if he takes a half a step back, he can catch and fire and get battles. Looks like they're going to stay here with DeLucia, even though Mallets is definitely ready to roll in the pin.
And it's Brady Slavens. And before he gets in, Mike Bianco is coming out.
Yeah, maybe not. You think, KP, would you go to the pin here?
Well, I'll tell you this. Mike Bianco did this very thing with Dylan DeLucia in the first game.
Yeah, that's right.
Here.
Yeah.
And I thought he was going to take him out when he went out there, and he wasn't going to do it. I think it's the exact same thing. I think he's going to leave DeLucia in the game.
And for people at home, how did that decision go?
Swimmingly.
Ravi seemed to almost grab another gear after the meeting. Like not only was he able to hang in there, it looked like the stuff even ticked up. He finished so strong.
Leaves DeLucia with 92 pitches in the game. And Brady Slavens, who Arkansas fans will remember forever. Last night, dead central. Longest home run in the history of this ballpark. 436 feet. It's rare you see a center fielder's back. We did see bench. But this may very well be the game right here. First pitch to Slavens on the ground in the hole. And Slavens is thrown out. DeLucia pumps his fist. The Yankees' decision to leave him in pays off. Peyton Chatinier circled that baseball and threw out Slavens. It stays 2-zip through 7. That's Friday night. Back here, Nolan delivers, battles, a line shot right at him. Hayden Dunhurst is out. What a huge decision by Bianco to leave his starter DeLucia in. Got a ground ball to second with 2 men on. The biggest threat Arkansas had all day. Trying to make their first finals appearance in school history. And DeLucia is the guy right now that's getting them there. Lived up to it, right? I mean, this is as advertised with Nolan and DeLucia on the mound. No disappointment as McCants squares, and that one sails outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
No, pretty impressive stuff by both these right-handers. Manager gives you the ball with it all on the line and go out there and perform the way these two have. It's awfully impressive.
Kantz is the 9-hole hitter with 1 down. Three and 2. Yep. Another punch out, late swing from McCants.
About no walks combined today.
Yeah.
Not a one.
That's a thing.
Efficient, filling up the zone, and really just simplifying approach. Both have had the ability to throw the breaking ball for a strike and early. And then if they're going to expand, they can expand and force the hitters to get into defensive counts. Both of these guys have put on a clinic today on how you approach 2 very good offensive teams.
Yep, 11 strikeouts. That was his first since the 5th inning. Two double plays turned by the Arkansas defense. Dylan DeLucia basically is standing at the ready.
He's not done.
I'm going back out. One ball, one strike. Bench is figured prominently in this game. Single, scored a run in the fourth, singled again in the sixth. Were you ever the guy in a game where nobody else is hitting the pitcher, but yet you have two hits? You know, same way, like Bench seems to be seeing Nolan a little bit. Nobody else is really squared, certainly as often.
Yeah, I think some of that, some of that's circumstantial too, right? Like you might be the guy that he nibbles and misses and you end up in some plus counts. Sometimes that is just a feel thing. You might see a guy better than somebody else. But if you're the Rebels, you're glad it's your leadoff hitter.
Yep.
Is the one that's seeing it well.
86 pitch on a 2-2 in the dirt. Umpire says yes, he did, and Bench is punched out. Play usually the offensive team's going to be, why don't you check with the first base umpire? You call that 2-zip. The NCAA Men's College World Series is presented by Capital One. What's in your wallet? Dylan DeLucia will now face Kendall Diggs as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. You win this game, you deal with Oklahoma in the Men's College World Series Finals. Well, that 6th inning was a helper, man. 5 pitches. He had a lot. He had a meeting on the mound with Bianco last inning. He got Brady Slavens to roll over to second base. It'll be Diggs in the 9 spot and then the top of the order. So he'll be seeing guys for the 4th time if they let him get there. Diggs, high fly into the corner and right, drifting towards the seats. And look out! A huge effort. And the ball bounced, but my goodness, Chatagnier was not stopping for that wall.
He accelerated.
He sure did. Derek Jeter shades at Yankee Stadium.
That's letting it all hang out right there.
I think Calvin Harris for a second is like, what are you doing?
Where did you come from?
Pitch was at 92 miles an hour. Still right there for DeLucia, who is inching towards 100. This one again towards the seats. I don't think we're going to see Bench running through the wall.
You got 2 pretty good options if you're Ole Miss right there. Mallitz and Johnson both have closer stuff. As Dylan DeLucia's pitch count nears 100.
He has thrown 118 in a game against South Carolina. 1-2 to the pinch hitter, Diggs. He got him swinging.
Nothing! Legal!
Strikeout number 6.
Pretty fascinating the way DeLucia's been able to throw an arm side breaking ball, the backdoor breaking ball to lefties, but then when he wants to bring it down and in, he's been able to do that as well. The command of the fastball has been terrific, but maybe even more impressive is the ability to throw that breaking ball to both sides of the plate.
Chatnier, 2 down.
It's not this easy because that's a really good offense on the Arkansas side, but the approach, at least mentally for DeLucia, has been very simple. It is just let the fastball lead, let that normal action take care of itself. And then the ability to throw sliders on 2 different sides of the plate.
Dylan DeLucia spent his off day at the Omaha Zoo. He was relishing in feeding the giraffes leaves. I mean, he loved it.
He got all excited. He had never seen a giraffe. Go feed a giraffe.
That's hard hit right at the second baseman. 8 incredible innings of work from Dylan DeLucia. Fed giraffes one day, and he is just feeding bullets right now to this Arkansas Razorback team, and he is locked in. There's the Zoo. They are 3 outs away from a final. Take a look at our Capital One rewarding performance. Can they call Lush?
Lush had the old number 1 going today, especially against these right-handed hitters. I mean, lefties, you got a chance, but righties, it is explosive. And he knows how to use it, too. Starting in the inside part of the plate and just let that arm side run take off. 6 strikeouts, hadn't walked anybody. That didn't look like the face of somebody that's coming out of the baseball game right now. Or if so, Mike Bianco's just not going to tell him yet.
After his work in relief, Lush went to Bianco and said, if you give me the starting chance, I'm not going back to the pen. He said, I just felt more comfortable out there. He has been so good. So is Nolan today. 8 innings, just 2 earned runs, 7 Ks. Not a lot of hard contact against him, and now the Arkansas bullpen is activated with Evan Taylor. Chase Borfin is now in left field. He and Battles came together, and a lot of Arkansas fans last night were having some horrible flashbacks to 18. Borfin held on to the baseball. It didn't drop. Swing and a miss from Taylor, who Wednesday went 3 innings through 31 pitches. Gonzalez, Elko, and Graham in the 9th. Stovall is closest to it. The ball drifts him right towards the mound, but he stabs it to make the play. Look out, Elko right up the middle, and Arkansas shifts as much as any team here, and that was exactly where Robert Moore was. On a hard hit ball, there are 2 outs. You're Bianco, you're DeLucia. You want a quick inning? I want to get right back out there, or are you looking for a little rest with all the pitches you've thrown?
You want to get right back out there.
Well, that's why this surprises me, right? Why are we doing kind of an offensive timeout when your pitcher's standing there on the
hitter.
step?
That's why.
Interesting.
He's not thinking like pitchers. He's thinking like a hitter. He wants to make Evan Taylor stand out there in the sun a little bit.
Kevin Graham, a double and a single today. And that one almost got him. Ball one from Taylor. Good luck.
That was gnarly. Some serious sweep to that slider there from Evan Taylor.
Here it comes again.
Taylor did his job, and now it's this kid. Are we thinking about a complete game shutout? Last time we saw one of those, Tommy Henry in 19 for Michigan against Florida State. First time in 8 years that Ole Miss has been to Omaha. 6 College World Series appearance. You go back to 1956, then 64. They were back here in 69, 72, and just a handful of years ago in 2014. All those teams were great, but none of them ever made it to a World Series final. This team is 3 outs away from doing that, where they will take on the Sooners of Oklahoma. First time in 4 years, we'll have an SEC team there. And given Oklahoma's moving to the SEC, they're going to become rivals in a conference. DeLucia now trying to complete this thing and not give up any runs. It'll be one of the greatest pitching performances in Ole Miss history. One ball, one strike. It is Caden Wallace, the 3-hitter, Michael Turner, and Chris Lanzilli. This is the heart of the order, and he's facing them for the 4th time. On the ground. Boy, casual play by Bench. 1 down.
Just super smooth right there by Justin Bench. And if you're wondering where this the heartbeat of this club is, he showed you right there. Yep.
You just saw it. That looked like he was taking ground balls before a game right there.
What a unique player. Not too many people go from center to third and make it look that good.
1 down, bottom 9. Michael Turner, the cleanup hitter, singled his first time up. That was the biggest threat they had until the 7th inning when they had a couple of guys on. Lanzilli then popped out to first. That's the pitch he's made money with all night. 93. Two-seamer on the hip of the lefty. Four starts since April 1. The Rebs are 4-0 in the games that DeLucia has started.
Careful, don't get too amped up and hang on to that breaking ball a little bit too long, put a guy on first base. Dylan DeLucia has put on a 2-hour and 4-minute pitching clinic today.
No doubt.
I mean, fastball both sides of the plate, breaking ball both sides of the plate, knows when to elevate it, go for the swing and miss. And the stuff has carried all the way through from pitch 1 to pitch 110.
1-2 on the ground. Elko wins the race, and they are 1 out away from a complete game shutout from Dylan DeLucia and a trip to the finals.
Dylan DeLucia about to put his name on the short list of Ole Miss legends here with one more out. I mean, this is pretty incredible stuff.
For as successful as the SEC has been, the last SEC pitcher to throw a shutout in a World Series game, you got to go back to Brett Laxton for LSU in 1993.
Wow.
Lanzilli, strike one.
That's all you're going to see here, I think. Fastball, fastball, fastball to Lanzilli. His last time up, he had a laser to left on a breaking ball.
That is strike two. And the Ole Miss fans can hardly believe what they are watching. Ooh. Talk about saving your arms in the bullpen when you're going to go into a World Series final without your ace. DeLucia has done that. That's it! What a masterpiece from Dylan DeLucia. Fires his glove in the air, a complete game shutout to get Ole Miss into the World Series Finals.
Last team in, huh? All the Rebs needed was a chance, man. All they needed was a chance. And I saw video from the selection show that ran on the SEC Network when they saw their name. And those guys that we had talked about, Bench, Elko, man, immediately the reaction was, all right, don't let us get hot.
They let us in.
They've been hot. They've been hot, and now they get a chance to win the first national championship in Ole Miss baseball history.
Against a phenomenal offense, Dylan DeLucia struck out 7. He allowed 4 hits. He didn't walk anybody.
I mean, what else can you say? It's legendary. I mean, what he just did, we talk about Brett Laxton, like we'll be talking about Dylan DeLucia 20 years from now because it was a shove fest. Here's the ball. I'm going right at you with my best stuff, and it was from the first inning to the last pitch.
He pitched Saturday. He comes back on Thursday and delivers the best pitching performance and huge hugs and emotion from all the Ole Miss players. And now they get a series with Oklahoma that'll start Saturday night. But before that, let's hear from Dylan DeLucia.
Dylan, your best stuff on the biggest start of your career. How'd you do it?
I really don't even know, honestly. Just like I did last time, just attack the zone. But, I mean, this team made some unbelievable plays behind me today. So I thought balls should have got down, and they just caught them for me.
You take me through the pressure of knowing you got to put up zeros when the other guy on the mound is dealing in Connor Nolan.
I came into that today. I knew last time I faced Nolan, I mean, he's a really good pitcher. We put up 4 runs in 8 innings off him. I knew I was going to have to be at my best today and put as many zeros as I can.
You pitch your team to the school's first finals of the College World Series. When you have the seniors that have all come back, what does this moment feel like for you and the rest of this team?
It's amazing. I don't even have kind of words for it right now. It's just blessing.
I know you want to go celebrate. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How's the transfer portal working out? I mean, that is a game changer in all sports, and he transferred in and now has got his name in the record books. By the way, in Omaha, Dylan DeLucia, 16 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 1 run, no walks, 17 strikeouts.
Dub. And I don't know if we're done seeing him yet. We won't see him in a starting role, I would bet, but I have a feeling we'll see him back out there at some point in the finals.
Their bounce back after heartbreak last night when they couldn't score more than 1 with the bases loaded and nobody out. They return today, and DeLucia moves them into the World Series Finals.